Okay, this section is 2.5. It's going to be transformation of functions. Basically, it's pretty easy stuff. It's just getting one function and then doing something to it, and then it becomes something else. Basically, that's about it. Let's begin real quick. In this example, they give you, let me see, they give you that y is going to equal f of x, and they give you a graph to represent that. They give you a graph of, and it's like this, and they give you, actually it's a kind of like incomplete graph, but they kind of give you a graph, right? It's going to be this is -2, this is +2, and this is -1, and whatever, +1, and keeps on going, whatever. +2 goes on like that, goes up with them. But they give you a point here and the point here, and they have a line between those two, and that represents your f of x. Well, basically that's what they tell you, it represents your f of x. And we don't know the function yet. Like, well, I mean, this is pretty easy to figure out, but we're gonna figure out in a bit. But this represents your f of x function. So whatever this function is gonna be put in for f of x. And then what you're gonna do is they're asking you, they're asking you to find g of x, which is gonna equal f of x plus 2. So g of x, which is a different function, because the reason it's a different function is because it's a different letter. And f of x is one function, g of x is a different function. So, but g of x is 2 more than the function of f of x, right? So first thing we're going to do, I was like, okay, well in that case, let's find out what f of x means. Well, that's what we're going to do. F of x, we're going to find what f of x means, right? F of x, as the previous chapters go, we're going to find the slope, and you're going to find basically an equation for the line of f of x. You know, so they give you 2 points here. They give you at x equals 2 and y equals -1. See, y is -1 and x equals 2. X, y, -1. And this point, x is -2 and y is still -1. I'm sorry, -1. Alright. So, like I said, in the previous chapters, we found out how to do basically get an equation of a line from 2 points, and we're gonna do that. You know, we're gonna find the slope using your slope, which is gonna equal your m, which is gonna equal your y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, and then we're gonna put it in a point slope formula. Point slope. And it's going to be what? Y equals y1 or 2, it doesn't matter, y1 or 2, m x minus x1. And like I said, this one doesn't matter, these two doesn't matter. Like, as long as if you have y1, you have to put x1. If you use y2, then you have to put x2. So like that. So let me get this page out of the way. So in this case, we're gonna call this one, let's say 2, and we're gonna use 2 instead of 1. 2, 2. Okay. All right. So for this, first of all, is we need to figure out your slope. So, I mean, we could go through and do the calculations if you want. You could do that yourself, but like I was telling you earlier the other day, remember, if you come along with this you come around this road, and then you come up to this point right here, and then you see, does it go up, does it go down, or does it stay straight? And obviously it's going to stay straight, right? If it stays straight, that means that there's no incline or no slope or no negative or no decrease or anything. So if it's straight, it's no slope. So if there's no slope, then m equals 0. Right? There's no value for m because it's 0. So, or you could just, even if you want to calculate that, which is going to kind of be a waste of time a little bit, just by observation kind of gives you a lot of detail of what's going on. So if you really want to calculate it, you're going to go to y2, which is going to be -1 minus -1, and then x2, which is going to be 2 minus 2, is going to equal. So if you have -$1 in your bank and you take away it again, so we're gonna basically is going to equal plus. So -1 plus 1 over 2 plus 2. Alright, and this is going to equal 0 over 2. So this is just 0, and this is exactly what we just did. We had the slope of 0. So see, you could have just saved yourself some time by just saying, okay, well, slope is 0. Okay, well, if you go ahead and do that, you put it back in your point slope formula. Point slope. So it's going to be y minus, and you pick a point. I'm going to pick point 2. So you're going to put y2 equals m x minus x2. Right? So we know that the m equals 0. Right? So we're going to plug in 0, x minus x1, x2. You know that this x is 0 times anything is 0. So this value, this whole thing becomes 0. So it's just 0. So now let's go back to the left side. Y minus y2. So y2 equals -1. Y minus -1 equals 0. Okay. So of course this is becoming an addition. Why? Because the negative times negative is a positive. So y plus 1 equals 0. So to rewrite this whole thing is just going to be y equals -1, because all you do is you bring a -1, so y equals -1. So -1. So this is your f of x. This is your f of x. Alright, this is your value for f of x. So now g of x is basically saying you that it is f of x plus 2. But we just figured out what f of x was. So all we do is going to plug in this whole thing for this value right here. Alright, so it's going to equal y minus 1 plus 2. So you come back like terms, so it's y equals, I'm sorry, y equals -1. Sorry. Y equals, so you have -$1 in the bank plus $2, so you have +1. So this is your g of x. This is your g of x. And now going back to the graph, this is your f of x. So all we're doing is just adding 2, 1, 2, and get the points the exact same thing that f of x has. You have to keep it like that. So this is your g of x graph. So all it is just adding 2. So I mean that's basically what the function said. F of x plus 2. F of plus 2. See, and see, g of x is y equals 1. Remember, there's no slope, so it's just going to be a straight line. So that's what we got, straight line at 1. Okay. Of course, it's going to get more complicated than that if you have with x's or with y's or whatever with any variable. But this is just basically the concept, and we're gonna probably see another video. We'll get some more going.